So most of us concern the music of Billy Strings with those who are interested in flat picking. And while he does rip a flat pick, so one of my students, or two of them actually, went to the Billy Strings show last week, and one of them sent me this. He is obviously one of the most talented fingerpickers of our time, and definitely the fastest. But the original tune, this isn't like a tribute to Doc Watson. It's actually a Doc Watson tune, and that is fast. Like, it's at least as fast, or maybe even faster than the Billy Strings version. So I want to show you how to play Doc's guitar using this Billy Strings live clip, and I want to inform you how it compares to Doc Watson's original version, because there's some really interesting innovations. And the tune in itself is just really, really innovative. It has a really unique form. It kind of has this like snake eating its tail kind of thing. It's super clever. So anyway, let's start here at the top. All right, for starters, we are capo 3. We got a capo up to capo 3 here, and you always want to tune your guitar, especially when you're making a video that a bunch of people are going to see and maybe make fun of you for being out of tune for. So you always tune your guitar when you throw a capo on. Yeah, I always tune when I put a capo on. So why capo 3? Because that's the way Doc did it. Why do you do it that way? Because well, for one, it guarantees that it's a solo guitar piece, because nobody's going to want to play with you when you play an E flat. And for two, guitar just kind of sounds nice capoed up here. Sweet. I did write the chords on the tab, so you can kind of see that it's a pretty simple chord progression. Just C, A minor, F, and G. Got a little heart and soul there. The thing that really makes this, though, is obviously the picking pattern, and then doing that picking pattern at like Mach 10. But I'll do it here at like Mach 1, and we can give it a go. Let's just call those rolls for the sake of it, and you can see he does 3 sets of them, and then we finish with this little ending here, which takes us to the second part, and to me this is like the hook of the entire song. Jeez. Okay. So again, the chords are very simple. You just have this 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. Very common and lovely. But Billy does some very uncommon things with his picking pattern. Now, the original with Doc was actually, this part was pretty straight up. Something like this. But what Billy does is super unique. The first few notes are the same. But what Doc would do is he would actually thumb this finger instead of the 3rd fret that's indicated there on the tab, which maintains this common finger picking pattern. What Billy's doing, though, is he's actually anticipating the F chord that's going to come in the next measure, and he plays that F note, or whatever it is with the capo, on beat 4. He also staggers his thumb like after the pull-off. He doesn't hit his thumb on 3 like he normally would. So if you look at the bass motion of this, and you see that he also does the same kind of thing moving to the 5 chord. Right? That open string carries over into this G. And what's so cool about it is just for a moment, you know, this bass line that we're so familiar with, it gets suspended for a measure, the bass motion. And what that does is it makes the measure feel really floaty and free. It's super cool. I've never done anything quite like it. I'll play this full section here, and then we'll talk about how it kind of differs from what Doc did. So as far as what Doc does, the main difference to me, and this is getting pretty dorky, other than that he doesn't anticipate that 4 chord, is that he usually plays the G as a G7. And it's kind of a cool little thing because you can hear that F note float through 2 different chords. So he does it in the first section. In the case of this chord to this chord, you can hear that note. And then in this other part, he does it the same thing. So that's one little difference, just a slight difference, and I don't know if Billy just chose not to do that or if it's just something he didn't notice, but I couldn't help but notice. If you're watching this, Billy, try a G7. I would be so embarrassed if Billy Strings watched this and heard me say that. I hope he never sees this. It would just feel disrespectful. He's so good. He's so good. What do I know? I'm just making YouTube videos. All right, now the C section. Take a listen to Doc's crazy amount of syncopation. That is nuts, and it's actually why I think that this Billy Strings cover is such a great one, because he doesn't only innovate. In fact, sometimes he pulls from the other end and just kind of brings things back to like a simpler form. And so that is the case of the C section. If we check it out here. Okay, we'll get to whatever that was, but basically the chord progression does this 3-6-2-5. It's almost like a rhythm changes chord progression. And then we've got the shreddy part. So it's actually not that bad. He actually does switch from this G form to this G form, and I think it's just to get the fingering a little bit more smooth, because you have that doubled up 3rd fret, and it's just a little easier to just kind of use those fingers in conjunction. A very bluegrasser thing to do, of course, because he is, I don't know, I think his stock and trade thing is a little more in the bluegrass world, so of course he can do anything he wants. From here on, should sound pretty familiar, but, and this is why I'm calling it B prime in the tab, something does change, and it's very subtle. The only thing that changes is he doesn't repeat the B section twice. So it usually goes B, and then you repeat the B again, and the endings are slightly different. This time he just does the B part one time, and that gives it this kind of weird motion where he sneaks right back into the top of the form, right? He goes right back in the top of the form. So we'll back it up to that hot lick there, and you'll see what I mean. And right now we're at the top of the form here. With some thing. Second time. And there we go. It just keeps repeating on end, and that's the whole tune. If you want to actually learn it, it is all on the Patreon. It's one page, It's one page. It's crazy. There's a lot of information in that one page. Now, if you'd like learning from some of the old dogs like Doc Watson, watch this video here of a Mississippi John Hurt tutorial. But if you do like some of the more kind of new innovations, watch this video here with Julian Lodge, and either one of those two things should give you a lot to work with. So thanks for being here, and we will see you at one of those next. I hope this is fun. It's not supposed to be too hard. Is this too hard? It's hard for me. This was hard. It was fun though.